Yes, this is my first conference. I'm enjoying it, and I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be selected.
So I've been to one, major conference previously, which was the Ecological Society of America meeting, and that was a lot broader in scope. So, and I guess I just didn't really put two and two together, but it was really surprising to see the depth of wetland science that's being covered here, and it's cool for me because I'm a budding wetland scientist.
No, this is the third time that I've mentored. I've done it the last couple of years at the meetings. This is my second year as a mentor and my third year participating in their career workshops.
Well, the program got started when I was president of SWS in 2002, 2003, and I created the Human Diversity Committee. We decided that this kind of mentoring program would be something that would be good to initiate.
Yes, it is, and more. I didn't expect it to be this nice. The people are easy to talk to. My mentor, Miss Leandra Cleveland, is excellent to be around. She's showing me and talking to me about different things and about her career in HDR engineering and how wonderful environmental science field, and basically it's different areas that I can grasp from.
Incredible. Like, the surprise to me was just how deep all of this goes, and really in each of these small little niches within wetland science, how far you can really stretch these concepts and ideas.
Oh, it surprised me that there are so many people here worldwide from different countries. I met someone from Australia today. Never met anyone from Australia in my life, and they're interested in the same thing as I am. So even though you're hemispheres and hours away, time zones away, we can still find a common interest. So I like that about this conference.
The program started out slowly. It was a little hard initially to get the word out there, and didn't get a lot of applications, but we did get a start. Since then, we have gotten funding from twice more. We've gotten funding from NSF. I wrote both of those proposals, and the program just continued to build. I continually get new contacts and expand my list of contacts for letting people know about the program.
Personally, I have maintained some contacts with some of these students, and so that's nice to maintain those sorts of relationships. But it also provides some hope for the future, because these are quite gifted kids. Or should it say kids? These are quite gifted students, and they are all doing great things, and that's encouraging to know that those kinds of students are coming along and are interested in wetland science.
I think I've probably gotten more out of it than the students have, to be honest. It's been a varied experience, and I think being able to interact with some of the younger folks and understand what they want to do and the paths they want to take, and just kind of in general how they're coming out of college with all this promise for their careers and working through that. I don't know. I think it's been a very rewarding experience.
The thing about a mentoring experience, whether you're mentoring your graduate students or undergraduate RUs, sometimes it's a short-term thing, and you've got a student in a class who you particularly notice is way above everyone else. Graduate student mentorships, in my mind, those are the kinds of relationships that go on for your entire career. I'm hoping that's the kind of relationship that Chris and I are building, because I really want him to come and do his PhD with me. But more than anything, I want him to go somewhere where he will be successful.
I feel like I need to try to warm up the relationship a little bit, I'll sometimes provide some prompts or have some questions I'll ask them to try to get the conversation started. But usually we try to contact the students prior to the meeting, and we've already started a dialogue, and they know a little bit about my interest and my background, and I know a little bit about theirs. So when we get here, we don't feel like we have to break the ice too much.
I'm not actually sure if there's been really the last couple of years much consistency actually between the two folks that I mentored previously. They were very different personalities. I know the first one very much wanted to kind of understand the different opportunities career-wise because his particular choice was in something that wasn't necessarily science-based.
Again, a little bit of both. We've discussed a plan about where we'd like to meet and that we're going to do some shadowing, and that I'd like to try to have lunch with them on a couple of the days at least, and those sorts of things. But the other parts of it, I try to be pretty flexible with, to kind of see what talks are kind of catching their eyes on day one, and if there are some themes that they want to try to pursue, and then I like to try to follow them around, and I invite them to follow me around as well. So in that regard, I'm a little bit more flexible, and try to get a larger group together sometimes to go to dinner or whatever they're sort of feeling like they need or want. And if they don't want to be straddled with the boring mentor, then I'm free to just say, okay, fine, have fun, and I'll see you in the morning.
It's wonderful, people, and we're so blessed to have this scholarship to actually come here, because I wasn't expecting everything to be paid for. My hotel room, I saw the receipts for that. I could never afford that in my lifetime, and I told my mom how wonderful it is and just how blessed I am to have this opportunity.
I couldn't even begin to emphasize how important that is. I think I am what I am, and I know everything I know because of my mentors who have really shown me the way and helped guide me along the process. I think if I were to try to get to the graduate level in science, it would be almost impossible to do without someone to help you, show you the way.
Student comments and suggestions have played a big role in building the program. We initiated a program of organized workshops to help with career development, prepare for graduate school, and that sort of thing. And I think that's really helped the program gel. It gives it more of an identity during the week, involves the students in activities that are specifically designed for them. There are some key things, I think, to prepare yourself for. Even if you don't know that you're going to be teaching in the future, I think it's good to get some teaching experience while you're in grad school. Because even if that doesn't lead to a teaching job at some point, you still may be in a position where you are essentially teaching to the public, doing public speaking and that sort of thing.
You always want to follow up with the person you're talking to. Don't just send the resume and wait for all the doors to open for you. I told her to follow up, and she did, and they offered her a job. I said, you bet. She says, I've been trying to break into this field. I said, this is your opportunity. Don't blow it.
I think probably the biggest piece of advice is when you decide what you actually want to do, just be very persistent at it. Don't give up on that. If you're looking for a job, being persistent, contacting all the people you know, because I think at the end of the day, a lot of that being persistent with things will get you where you need to be.
So I did my research on the effect of respiration and survival on blue tilapia, Oreochromis aureus, and increasing salinities from the juvenile to the young stage. And basically we did this research because many farmers first of all, tilapia has an increased need in farming from 2003 and up.
Well, okay, first my name is Edwise Latour, and I'm working with Dr. Diana Padilla from Stony Brook University, and she's doing work on phenotypic plasticity amongst different various gastropods. And basically this study is based off that. So we're working with Filofornicata, which is the Atlantic slipper snail. It's actually an invasive species in Europe, and it's native in North America.